guys, welcome back to my channel. If you've been keeping up with my videos, you might have noticed that I didn't post on Sunday, which is my usual day for uploading these. Last month or so has been kind of hectic for me. I've had some big life changes and it's really made me consider what I'm doing on here and where I want these videos to go. I got some really great feedback on my last video and it really triggered me to kind of get into a mindset of I need a little bit more structure in these videos and a little bit more structure just on the channel overall. Posting at all on here consistently has been a huge step for me. I never thought I would be able to do it. Even if the content is chaotic, just building that habit has meant a lot to me and really taken me farther than where I thought I would be able to go. I'm really proud of how I've been able to push myself on here, and I'm proud of the content that I've been making, but I definitely recognize that I can make better content, and that's what I'm going to try to do. I think I'm going to be changing up a little bit how I kind of make these videos and what I'm making, so I hope you guys will enjoy them and that you'll stick around with me while I kind of find my own style for filming these videos. With that being said, I'm going to be doing a draw with me video today. I got suggested to do one in my last video and I'm hoping you guys will like it. I'm gonna be finishing up the demon girls that I had started drawing, the two with like the flames around them, and kind of explaining my process and stuff like that. So I hope you guys will enjoy it.
So I originally started working on this piece a few weeks ago. I think part of the holdup I had was that I wasn't totally sure what I wanted for the background. I wanted flames, which I do end up doing here, but in the end, I kind of end up reworking the background totally in Procreate. I mostly work digitally right now, and a lot of that is because I just like the convenience of being able to pick up my iPad and, draw full color if I want, draw more sketchy. I can kind of just do it all on my iPad. When I work traditionally though, I really like to experiment with the different media I'm using. So here I'm using a few different kinds of markers, but primarily alcohol markers, which I'm sort of familiar with and definitely getting better. If you're wondering what kind of markers I'm using, I am using the Winsor Newton alcohol markers. I've had these for such a long time. I was super convinced in college that I was going to become like an alcohol marker artist. A lot of people at that time were using them online, and I just never really, I think, fully grasped them or figured out how to incorporate them into my style. But I'm definitely using them more recently, and I think I'm getting better at them. I really love how you can layer the same marker color over itself to kind of give like a shadow or a blush effect, kind of like I have with the girls. I also use them to do the flames, which I was really happy with. I felt like they were the best example I have of me using the markers to blend so far, so I'm looking forward to potentially using them in other pieces for something similar to like this demon girl thing I have going on. Here I'm trying to really just like lay down my colors to then ink over them. Usually I would color everything and then begin inking, but I definitely should have done a color study for these girls, even if it was just like popping them into Procreate and kind of seeing how I wanted the colors to align. But this was very much just kind of like I doodled this on a whim. I colored this on a whim a little bit. And that's okay, not everything that you make has to be super thoroughly planned out. It just depends on like what this was for, and for me this was really to just kind of get me into the Halloween spirit. I'd really been wanting to draw some spooky stuff even if I wasn't doing anything for Inktober this year, and drawing this has definitely done that. I would say I'm in like a way more spooky kind of like fall mood. I think I've drawn like 2 more sets of demon girls since originally sketching these out and coloring them, so overall I'm happy with how they came out, even if I don't totally love the piece as a whole, and I think that's okay. I think it's important to post things even if they didn't turn out totally the way you want them to, or even if you messed up a lot, because we're all human. And at the end of the day, like, I did put a lot of time and effort into this. And I remember like a professor, I think, once telling me that just because you didn't like the way it turned out doesn't mean that like others will. And if you put the time into it, it's worth posting. As far as coming up with the designs for the two little demon ladies, I really wanted to go for something more like westerny, but modern at the same time. Like, I wanted them to be cute. And I definitely wanted them to be unique to each other, like how the one is red and the one is orange and they have different kinds of horns. I kind of wanted them to be, like, in my mind, the same kind of like demon species, but they were both unique. They weren't just like two of the same person, but colored differently. And so they also have two different styles. Like, in my mind, they're two characters that have two separate personalities. So like the red one would be a lot more like mischievous and kind of evil, and then the orange one is just kind of like happy to be there. She likes causing mayhem. Like kind of a similar personality, I think, to Nifty, if you've ever watched Has Been Hotel. So I really love them. I might do some more things with these demon girls, as well as like a few more characters, because I feel like I could do a lot better with them, and I just really love them. I really attached to them. If you guys have any suggestions for character names, I would love to hear them. I'm always horrible at naming characters, but I love the kind of like idea for the story I have behind them. So right around here is where I've started to just completely destroy the background. Like I said, I pictured them kind of on a ranch or something in hell. And so I originally was going to do this like kind of like wrought iron looking black fence amongst the flames. And after looking up like ranch fences, I found that they usually have like some sort of sign, I guess, that hangs kind of under like a piece of wood, like a higher part of the fence. I'll throw in like a picture or something here because I'm so bad at explaining it. But yeah, I was like last minute changed the idea that I had, and it really threw off, I think, what I had originally envisioned for the background, because I originally thought that there would be kind of like a gradient of black behind the girls, behind the flames, and then just like a little bit of black poking through in the flames. And then I added so much black in this part. I still had this idea to do some sort of like black kind of background thing, and so I wanted to use this pastel pan that I have, and I don't really know what I was thinking with this. I think that in the bottom part below the kind of the big black line I have, I use like a mix of orange and the black pastels, and I do like that. I think it doesn't look awful, but when I went up and tried to add in like yellow and blend in like black kind of like smoky flames with it, it just kind of like, it was too much. The yellow really made things have like almost a green shadow that was not cute. So here's where I'm going into Procreate and fixing it up to at least a point where I'm okay with it. So I started by just like going around the girls. I touched like a couple things up where when I made my original selection, they'd gotten cut off. And then after that, I proceeded to just go around the outline of the girls and take away any background that was left in there. I'm sure there's a much easier way to do it. I think in like Procreate or Clip Studio, I think in Photoshop or Clip Studio, I might have had a lot easier time with the selection tool, but in Procreate, I'm not as familiar with every single like kind of tool they have, because I just haven't been using it as long. But still, I think these came out pretty clean. And just separating the characters out onto their own layers really helps to be able to manipulate them individually in terms of color or position, as well as like nothing I do on the background is going to really affect them unless I want it to. Around here is where I realized that at some point I had accidentally copied a version of the orange demon, where I had erased like just a chunk out of her leg. So I'm just pulling a piece of that image and kind of blending it in so that it looks like that never happened, which is the fun thing about digital art. I'm editing the colors a little bit here, just to kind of make the darks darker, the whites whiter. I wanted to give her horns some color, so I went with kind of like a darker color, which I think looks a little weird without the background on it, but I think once we add in the background, it kind of all just blends in together. I did have a hard time getting some of this red pencil out of the cowboy shirt on the little orange lady, but if I didn't use so much red and orange in the piece overall, I think it would have been a lot easier, but we made it work. I just kind of went over in like a semi-opaque brush and fixed it up. It originally tried using the flames from the same image I took the finished characters from, but there was just like too much going on, so I decided to pull a screenshot from one of my first videos where I had just finished the flames and go ahead and put them in there. It was a lot easier to select them from that image, and then I just blended them in. I actually really liked how these came out. I don't know if they're the best background for this piece, but I think that they look pretty good. I think that they're probably the best flames I've ever drawn, so I mean, that's something for sure. I haven't really used this blending brush too much. Every brush I use on Procreate is just kind of like what it came with. I haven't bought any brushes for Procreate, but it worked pretty well, and I did just like copy the I copied a layer of the flames in the back and did a gradient, kind of, what is it, like a Gaussian blur onto those to just give it like a little luminescence, and then once I blended in the edges of the flames on top, I feel like it had a really nice effect. Once I finished up with the flames, I just did like a little bit of a gradient in the background and then started hitting the girls with some color dodge and just touching up some last bits of it. I wanted to use the color dodge to just kind of add a little bit of glow to certain parts where like the flames would be hitting. I added some glow to their eyes to kind of just like give them more of like a demonic kind of look. And then I just redefined their eyes a little bit because that obviously covered some of the line art that I had. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out, especially when you take into account the severe mistakes I made when it comes to the background. So yeah, I hope that you guys have liked this video. Finished product right here. I know I've still got some camera issues to work on. Next week when I upload a Draw With Me video, hopefully it will be a little better than this one, and I'm really excited to do more stuff for you guys and hopefully give you guys more content that you will like. If you like this, be sure to drop a like, leave a comment. What do you think I should draw next? And I'll see you guys next time.